Bienvenido nuevamente, Pablo, a Nueva York. I teach economics here at John Jay College in CUNY, and I constantly put up to date my students with what's happening with Podemos. And I'm also a member of the Partido del Pueblo Trabajador in Puerto Rico, where we're closely following what's happening with Podemos. So I just want to make two quick questions. First, I think it would be great if you can give a general overview of the Maastricht Treaty and its ratification in Lisbon, so we can understand how in one way or another it contributed to what's happening in your country. And second, in your talks, in your platform, you normally try to emphasize, underline how capitalism has undermined democracy, how capitalism and its markets, financial institutions have undermined democracy. When you normally speak about unemployment for all the age groups in Spain, you like to refer to the need to increase the aggregate demand. And many people here know that that language and those concepts can be associated with the thought of John Maynard Keynes, who was one of the biggest defenders of capitalism. So I wonder, what critique do you have of Keynes, given that I know that you have in your staff very important and admirable economists like Vincent Navarro advising you? Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. This is a very difficult exam.
If you need help, John Harvey is in the front row.
I'll try to do my best. Regarding Maastricht Treaty, in my opinion, it was a mistake. The problem of Maastricht is that states lost their sovereignty powers, and they gave to the European Central Bank, independent institution, the power of something that is very important for a state, that is the power of have money, to create money. And many of the problems we have now in Europe has many things to do with this situation. In this point, I think that there is not alternative, and it's something very sad when journalists ask to me, you would like to put Spain away from the Eurozone? I say no. So you love Eurozone? It's not my best dream, but it's the reality, and it's probably impossible to make another thing. The second question is great. Obviously, we are defending neo-Keynesianism, and Keynes was a defender of capitalism. In fact, the Keynes ideas were probably the best way to protect capitalism and to make capitalism survive. But probably you know very well that it's impossible to change capitalism just winning an electoral process. Even it's impossible to change capitalism teaching in universities. You can be the most Marxist professor of a university, and you are giving an excellent theoretical background for your students, but you are not changing anything. So even if I recognize that the capitalism is a terrible system, the things we can do if we win elections are very small things in the margins of free market economy, and we assume that we will have to deal with economic powers. We know very well that it's impossible to change capitalism just winning elections. But I don't like people who say, okay, in that case I will be a superhero, an anti-capitalist superhero in the underground of the society. In my country there are much people without a decent salary, with much problems, and we have to do something. And I know that the things we can do are reformist things. You could say to us, you are a reformist, you are not a real revolutionary. But if you study the history of the 20th century, I think we have to respect the expression of the class struggle that in the end finished in a reorganization of the powers and redistribution of the wealth. We are not very ambitious in that sense. We just want to make clear that democracy means that we can limit the financial powers, but we have not the force, we have not the power to change the whole system.
Thank you. First of all, congratulations to Podemos on behalf of the Schiller Institute, which has been fighting for some 3 decades now for the right of economic justice and economic development for every nation and every person. And we truly feel that we are in a revolutionary moment, that is precisely what we're seeing with Syriza in Greece, with Sinn Féin in Ireland, with Podemos in Spain, and emphatically with the new process that's coming into being with the BRICS alliance. The entire transatlantic economic system is coming down right now. And it means that the possibility of changing everything from top to bottom absolutely exists. And we're not talking about a few $1 billion of debt in Spain or Greece, but we're talking about $2 quadrillion in completely fictitious derivatives and related debt. And this financial collapse is also absolutely the driving factor behind the danger of thermonuclear war. We're seeing it every day with the provocations against Russia and so on. So I think the opportunity exists, not only this must be changed, but the opportunity exists right now to change it. Now, we have an offer from the BRICS nations that every nation, Xi Jinping proposed that the United States, that every nation join in with the BRICS. We have been leading the fight here to get the United States to join, and also for an international Glass-Steagall, which would bankrupt the predators and the too-big-to-fail banks in Wall Street and related areas. So my question is, what is your view, both on the war danger as it relates to this, and also on the potential with the BRICS, what Xi Jinping called a win-win situation of cooperation among sovereign nations as opposed to confrontation among nations, particularly at this both very dangerous but very opportune moment in history?
Thank you for the question. This is probably the most difficult exam of my life. And in English. Professor Immanuel Wallerstein and other members of this world system analysis tradition, like Giovanni Arrighi, a friend of David Harvey, and others of this tradition, said we are in a geopolitical transition. We are in a post-hegemonic transition. I agree with that, and I think that there are many opportunities of change, and probably the global power now is in a changing situation. Not just the BRICS, also the role of China in this moment is quite important, and Russia is in the game again, and this geopolitical tension is probably a great opportunity. And of course, the BRICS can be some kind of alternative for the rights of the people and some kind of alternative for democracy, even if this dynamic is very contradictory sometimes. We saw many years Latin America as a possibility of a new regional power able to contend, able to create a new power, able to negotiate with a different force with the States and with the European Union. But I don't see this situation as a revolutionary moment if we understand the word revolution in a historical sense that brings you to Russia revolution or China revolution. I think we are just in a moment of change of the global powers, where the national state is coming back. If you maybe read the book of Antonio Negri and Michael Hart, Empire, in this book you could see, okay, there is not national states anymore, there is just empire, this global sovereignty. I think this crisis is showing that the national state is coming back for being here for many years. And new possibilities of alliances between countries are developing new opportunities for the people. It's impossible for me to give an answer. I would like to imagine a future in Europe with Syriza ruling the government in Greece, with us in Spain, with the Sinn Féin in Ireland, and with other forces in Europe, retaking the idea of a social Europe. But I think we are in a very difficult situation, and our enemies are very powerful, and they are going to use all the tools, all the weapons they have in order to stop us. So I can't answer you the question if the BRICS are really the alternative of the new possibility for a new world order.